Hello my dear students. So once again I'm here with a video, and today's video is for both classes 11 and 12, right? And the reason for making this video is that over the past few days I have been getting a lot of calls from you all regarding the issues that you're facing with your project work, English project work. All right, many of you have a lot of problems and a lot of queries. So I thought of making a video that could resolve many of your queries and problems. All right, so I hope this video is going to be helpful, and through this video I'm going to guide you how to go about with your English project. So of course I think this video is going to be a bit long, all right, but please go through the video and I hope you'll be able to do a wonderful project if you just go through it, all right? And just in case, even after going through the video, you have more queries and difficulties regarding your project, you can always call me up, all right? Or you can leave your queries in the form of a comment in the comment box below, all right? And I'll try to resolve those issues too, all right? So this video is for your English project work for both classes 11 and 12. Okay, let's go ahead. Right in the beginning, you've got to remember that the project work that you have, the project work that has been incorporated by the West Bengal Council of Higher Secondary Education is mandatory. It has been incorporated in the syllabus of both classes 11 and 12, and it is mandatory. The assignment is mandatory. That means it is compulsory. You've got to do it, failing which you're going to fail your exams. For example, in class 11, if you fail to submit your project, you're not going to be promoted no matter how well you do your theory paper. All right, you're going to fail your exam. Similarly, class 12, especially for you all right, please bear in mind that your project work is very important. You've got to submit it on time, because this is going to be collected by the board. It is going to be submitted in the board office by the school, through the school, all right? So your project assignment that you're going to do is very important. It is mandatory. If you do not submit it, then you're going to fail in your HS examination, all right? No matter how well you do your written work, theory, if you fail to submit this project, you're going to fail. So please bear this in mind. And yes, right in the beginning of the session, I had told you all, both classes 11 and 12, when we were discussing the syllabus, that your project is very important, and at the same time, very rewarding also. It fetches you 20 marks, so put your heart and soul into the project work, and if your project is really good, you'll get 20 upon 20. There's no place to cut your marks if you do your project very well. So try to do it well. Over the past few years, many of them have got 20 upon 20 because their work were very good, all right? And please do it well. Put your heart and soul into the project work. So today I'm going to tell you how to go about with the project. And first of all, let me discuss the topics in the project. So for class 12, all right, there are 4 topics that has been given by the board. And of course, as I came across some notice, orders, that you can choose any other topics apart from this. But the 4 topics that have been incorporated by the council are, number 1, you have the film or theater script writing. That is, you can write a script for a film or a theater drama, all right? Or you can also give a review. Instead of writing a script, you can also give a review of a film or a drama that you liked, all right? That is number 1, all right? This is very important and interesting, and not important but interesting, all right? It brings out your creative skill. So if you are a real storyteller and you're interested in filmmaking, this and film writing, all right, this could be a very good platform for you all right? So you can write a script or of a film or a theater, and that's going to be your own work. Okay, please do not copy it from some other place, all right? So your originality is going to be portrayed out there, all right? And for number 2, all right, the topic number 2 is a fictitious interview. Now, over the past few years, I've found that many of the students find this topic very interesting, all right? And even when I go through the project, okay, when I'm correcting the project, I find it very interesting, the fictitious interview. Now, this fictitious interview could be of anybody, all right? You could interview any personality that you like. It could be a legendary hero, or player, a sports person, or a film actor, or anybody, okay, or even a scientist, or anybody that you'd like to interview. So if you have any favorite personalities, you could interview them. Of course, this is going to be a fictitious one. You're going to write it. In fact, this is going to be somewhat like script writing once again. All right, where you are going to develop an interview between you. You are going to be the interviewer, and you are going to interview the person. Okay, and yes, you could interview anybody. The last few years, I have had the students doing on very nice thing, a range of thing, personalities. Okay, some of them interviewed Albert Einstein, some of them interviewed Neil Armstrong. Yes, some of them interviewed film personalities, sports personalities. Some of them interviewed even Michael Jackson, and yes, many rock stars and all. Anybody, you could interview anybody you would like. You could interview even your local writers, of course. Okay, it doesn't have to be your international hero or something like that. Anybody you would like to interview, and that's going to be a fiction, a work of fiction. All right, very interesting. Of course, I'm not telling you to do this, but yes, many of the previous students, they have found this very interesting, and I myself, I enjoyed going through these interviews. All right, it becomes very informative also. And regarding that interview, you can collect data from various sources about that personality. Okay, of course, first of all, you have the internet. Okay, that's going to help you a lot. You might find autobiographies of that person. Okay, books is going to help you. Your internet is always going to come in handy. Okay, you can always Google about that personality, and you get a lot of information, and you are going to build up that information that you gather about that personality in the form of an interview. You are going to make up your own story, of course, make it interesting. All right, so even you could use various sites like Wikipedia, okay, any other thing, encyclopedias and all. Okay, so that is your number 2 topic, fictitious interview with any personality that you like. Okay, number 3 is changing the background, time, and social context of a story. So you take up any story and you change the background. Okay, background in which it is set, you can just change it, make it your own. Okay, give your own thing. You give it your own time. If it's an old, ancient story, you can make it modern. If it's a modern story, you can make it an ancient one. Okay, or you can make it futuristic. Okay, so it's up to you. And you can change the social context. So suppose the story is set in America, you could make it an Indian one, or if it's an Indian story, you could make it set somewhere in Pakistan or any other country, of course. Okay, you can change the background and the society, the context can be changed, and that's going to impact your story, isn't it? Storyline. Okay, so your story is going to be quite different. Okay, so that is going to be a work again of your original one. Okay, you cannot copy it from any other place. You can take up a story, of course, okay, original story, and make it your own. All right, then the fourth one is Indianization of an English novel or short story. So you can take any English novel or short story that you have read, okay, and Indianize it. The English context, the British context, or the American context that you find there is going to change, and you are going to make it, you give it an Indian context. Okay, the characters are going to be Indian, okay, and the place is going to be Indian. So if the character and place changes, of course, the course of the story may change, isn't it? Okay, the way the people think in the West differs from the way we live our lives out here in the East, isn't it? So changing the context of the story is the number three, topic number 3 and 4 is somewhat same. Okay, so Indianization, you have to give the character. For example, if you take the example of Selfish Giant, okay, which has an English context, if you change that Selfish Giant into an Indian giant, Indian Rakshas, if you make that Selfish Giant Indian Rakshas, and the children there Indian children, okay, the garden itself changes, isn't it? Everything changes in the story, isn't it? So that is how you're going to Indianize that particular story. All right, so that is your Indianization of English novel and short story. Okay, so those are the 4 topics that you have for class 12. Number 1 was film or theater script, or you can write a review of a film. Then number 2 is fictitious interview. Number 3 is changing the background, time, and social context of a story. Number 4 is Indianization of an English novel or story. All right, and it's up to you. The choice is yours. I cannot impose anything on you. It's up to you. You can take up any topic and do it any way you feel like. All right, and there is no hard and fast rule that you've got to follow this rule. Okay, you are independent to do this project, take up this project. All right, my work is only that of a guide. I can help you as a guide. I can guide you how to go about with your project. That's all. All right, it is going to be a work of originality, and it's an individual. My duty is only to show you the way. All right, so if you have any queries, all right, you can always call me up. I'm there to guide you, but your work has to be original. Please do not copy it from any place. All right, and try to make your project interesting with, of course, information that you're going to get from various sources, and make it a bit illustrative. Okay, you can either draw. If you're good in drawing, you can draw pictures related to the particular thing that you have taken up, or you can get some pictures, photographs, or any pictures. You can stick it, make it colorful and attractive. All right, that is going to fetch you more marks. Okay, we'll try to make it, and of course, please see that your work is neat and clean. All right, now the topics for class 11. Okay, there are 3 topics for class 11. Number 1 is dramatizing a story. So you take up a story and you convert it in the form of a drama. The format is going to change. The story, you have to dramatize it. All right, so once again, somewhat like your script writing. Okay, you take up a story and convert it into a script. All right, that is number 1. Number 2 is extension of a story. So you can take up any story, all right, and from the place that the story ends, you are going to take up. You are going to be the author henceforth, and you're going to write your own story. What's going to happen after that? Okay, you could take any story. It could be even the stories from your own syllabus, all right? So the story ends at a certain place, isn't it? All right. So, for example, Leela's friend, all right, at the end, that Arkin Orion, he ends the story at a certain place, isn't it? We see that Siddha goes to jail, isn't it? The family, okay, they just continue with their life, isn't it? All right. But we exactly do not know what happens with Leela afterwards. Okay, so you can continue, you can make up your own story and add the story henceforth and make up a story. That's going to be your project. Okay, so extension of a story, you extend the storyline. All right, it could be any story, even though you can take up your local stories and extend. So for that, you're just going to give a gist of the original story and add the story further. All right, that is the extension. Then number 3 is writing an autobiography. Okay, so you can write an autobiography of anything possible. It's up to you, class 11. Okay, make it interesting. You could okay, just imagine yourself as a river, as a tree, as a mountain, as any other personality also, right? And you're going to write the story of that personality that you have taken up. You're going to be that person, okay? And you're going to write that, all right? Of course, you can choose anything, all right? Past few years, I have had very interesting ones, okay? Some of them wrote an autobiography of Balasan, T-Star, okay, the NH55, anything. Of course, I'm not telling you to write on these only, okay? You can just write an autobiography of anything. You just imagine yourself to be that person or be that entity, and you're going to write the story, the life story of that particular thing. Of course, you know by now what an autobiography is, isn't it? All right. Just in case if you do not know, please tell me. Of course, I'm going to tell you in detail what an autobiography is. But in class 11, you should know what an autobiography is, isn't it? And that's a story about yourself. Okay. So you can imagine yourself to be something, okay, take up the form of any entity and write the story of your life. That is your autobiography, okay? So I think that is going to be very interesting. And as I told class 12, here once again, class 11 too, the same goes to you. See that your project work is interesting, informative, colorful, okay? Make it illustrative, all right? Try to draw pictures if you can. If you cannot, stick pictures that you can get anywhere, isn't it? Nowadays, you can just download some pictures relating to your thing, all right? And make it colorful. And please, for heaven's sake, see that your work is neat and tidy, all right? And please pay attention to handwriting, okay? That is something that really is important, okay? I pay a lot of attention to the handwriting too, okay? See that it is legible and try to make it neat and as neat and tidy as possible, all right? So that was the topic for both class 11 and class 12. Now I'm going to tell you how your project should look like, okay? So please follow this, and this is applicable for both classes 11 and 12, all right? This is how your project should look like, all right? I think, in fact, the format that I'm going to give to you, the information that I'm going to give to you further is going to help you, especially the arts student, okay, is going to help you even in your other subject projects like history, pol science, EVS, whatever you're doing, even in your Nepali thing project, you can use, I think you can use this, all right? So please pay attention. And once again, let me repeat, all right? See that your work is neat and tidy, all right? Now, what should your project, English project, look like? Okay, we shall discuss on that. So, first of all, your project should have a cover. So on the cover, you are going to write English project on, and you are going to mention the name of the topic that you have chosen. All right. Then in the cover itself, you must mention the name of your school, name of the student, that is your name, followed by class, section, roll number, registration number, and year. All right, so you can put up these details in any order you like. Okay, you can just design it according to your liking. All right, but please do include all these details in your cover page, that is the name of your project, that is the topic that you have chosen, then your school's name, your name, the name of the student, class, section, roll number, registration number, and year. The cover page will be followed by the title page, where you will mention the title of the project that you are going to do. So out of the 4 topics that have been given, you're going to choose one, and that's going to be the title. And yes, try to make it decorative. Okay, you can illustrate it or put up some pictures out there. The title page will be followed by certification. So the certificate should look like this. All right, this is how your certificate should look like. You're going to write certificate. This is to certify that the project report entitled, and here you're going to mention the title of your project by, then again you're going to write your name, the name of the student, class, section, roll number, registration number, and year. Has been successfully completed under my guidance and supervision. So this is your certificate, which your English teacher is going to certify for you. Underneath you're going to write signature of the project guide with date. So your project guide, your teacher is going to certify this certificate. The certificate must be followed by an acknowledgement. All right. And in this page, you are going to mention, in your acknowledgement, you are going to mention the people who have helped you in going about with your project. Okay. So you are going to mention the people who have helped you. And this acknowledgement actually is going to be a personal thing. All right. So I'm going to give you a format. All right. And it's up to you. You can mention as many people you would like, those who have helped you with your project work. So your acknowledgement should look somewhat like this. This project has given me the opportunity for learning through research and group activities. I'm grateful to, then you mention your teacher's name, your guide's name, my project guide for encouraging and motivating me to accomplish the project. I'm also thankful to our headmaster, and you mention your headmaster or headmistress's name for this valuable suggestion, for his valuable suggestion to improve the project work. Last of all, I thank my friends who helped me in different ways to complete the project. Here, you're going to sign it on your own, the signature of the student. All right. The acknowledgement must be followed by the table of content. In fact, this is the place where your real project begins, the actual project. All right. So the table of content, and these are the things that must be there: introduction, method, output, conclusion, and reference, or your bibliography. And students, please do not forget to write down the page number in the table of content accordingly. All right. Now students, please remember that your project work is an individual thing. All right. You can do it as you like. I'm just giving you the guidelines. It's not that you have to strictly follow it. All right, you can write your own introduction. This is for those who have a problem with writing their own introduction. So I'm just giving them a kind of a format of how to go about. So you could begin your introduction as such. All right. So West Bengal Council of Higher Secondary Education has included project work in the new syllabus. There are 4 topics in class 12, and you mention the name of those 4 topics that I have given, right, out here. Then you write, I have chosen such and such topic as my project. That could be your introduction, okay? That would suffice. Then if you want, you can mention the method and techniques that you have used to do the project, okay? You just write a few lines about how you have gathered information, what were the sources of information, and what are the things you did, and how many days it took for you to get this project ready. All right, so that would be your method and techniques. Then comes the output of the project. Yeah, by output of the project, it is the actual project that you have done. Okay, so that is the output. So that has to be mentioned even in your content. Please give the page number. So finally, when you have presented the output of the project on the topic that you have selected, then you can give your conclusion. Okay, yeah, once again, the conclusion could be yours entirely. All right, and for those who have problem writing your own conclusion, you can use this conclusion that I have prepared. Of course, you do not have to stick to it. You can add your own ideas out here. All right, so the conclusion could go this way: the project work which has been included in our syllabus has helped us develop our writing skills and at the same time broadened our thoughts and imagination. After the completion of the project, under the guidance of our project guide within the stipulated time frame, I have learned how to research, how to collect information, how to put my imagination into words, and how to add color to presentation, hence enhancing my creative skills. I thoroughly enjoyed doing this project. Well, that was the conclusion to your project. And as I told you before, you can always add points to it. Any ideas you have, you can always put in your own ideas. All right, this is just the framework that I'm giving to you. All right, just a guideline. Then finally comes the bibliography or your reference. All right, so here you've got to mention the various references that you have done. All right, so as a bibliography, you can mention the names of the books, all right, or magazines, newspapers that you have used to gather information, or you can, of course, mention the internet and the various sites that you have referred to during your research work. All right, so that makes up your bibliography. All right. So, my dear students, that's all for today. I hope this video that I have made specially for you all is going to help you all and guide you in going about with your project. And just in case you still have queries, some problems regarding your project work, you can always call me up, or you can leave your queries in the comment box below and I'll try to resolve it and get in touch with you. All right. So yes, please start doing a project and try to submit it on time. All right. And that's going to help me to go through the project. And if in case there are problems in your project, we can resolve it then also. All right. So till then, goodbye, and please do your work well. All right? So goodbye.